And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics, and now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. Well, we're at the beginning of a whole brand new week, and we've got an exciting week planned for you. And today, though, is going to be no different than any other day. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new. We've got a lot of things happening, so let's just talk about it. First off, I want you to know that we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and, of course, we'll be continuing our news segment, our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. And then on our special segment today, John Matthews, Joe Hakos, and I will be talking about conservative politics on our semi-weekly simulcast. Most likely we'll be talking about tonight's debate that's going to take place between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton about 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then also later on tonight, John Hanson will be here, that little old wine drinker, and he's going to be talking about food and wine. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 102 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's down from 104 degrees. And it's on its way to 74 degrees. So that'll be, it's not going to get too dang cold anyway, that's for sure. But you know what? Let's talk about the news. And we've encapsulated it like we always do, so we can give you the top 10 items, and you can talk to your friends, your neighbors, your people you work with or work for, and they'll know that you know what's going on in the world today. And then we'll do a little bit more in-depth stuff right after that. First off, here are the 10 things that you need to know for Monday. Your daily look at late-breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that are going to be talked about all day today and most likely tomorrow, too. And right off the top is the nation and beyond turns attention to the first of 3 debates. The high-stakes contest between Clinton and Trump could set the momentum for the rest of the U.S. presidential campaign. And up next, Arnold Palmer dies at age 87. Palmer made golf popular for the masses with his hard-charging style, incomparable charisma, and a personal touch that made him known throughout the golf world as the King. And suspect arrested in the deadly shootings at the mall in Washington State. Police say 20-year-old Arkan Seton said nothing and appeared zombie-like when he was taken into custody. And then, what could be decisive in the war against the Islamic State group? Well, an array of forces is lining up for a battle to retake Mosul. Being forced from Iraq's second-largest city would effectively break the back of the militant group. And then, U.S. terror attacks common denominator Anwar al-Awlaki. You know, a bomb that rocked New York a week ago was just the latest incident in which the attackers were inspired by the American imam, who became an al-Qaeda propagandist. And then, why residents of Cedar Rapids are leaving town. Well, the rain-swollen Cedar River is threatening serious flooding and forcing people from low-lying areas of Iowa's second-largest city. And then California eyes the unusual power source. Yep, the state studies whether crystals can be used to produce electricity from the mechanical energy created by vehicles on California's famously gridlocked highways. And, one doesn't high-five with commoners. Well, that's how the Daily Mail headlined its story about William and Kate's 3-year-old son, who declined to high-five with Prime Minister Trudeau as the royal family arrived in Canada for a tour. Well, can you imagine, at 3 years old? Anyway, which movie toppled Sully? Well, The Magnificent Seven rides Denzel Washington's star power to a $35 million debut, dethroning Tom Hanks' film at the box office. And finally, the pitcher Jose Fernandez is killed in a boating accident. The Miami Marlins right-hander escaped Cuba to become one of baseball's brightest stars. He was 24 years old. What a tragic loss that we have there. Well, let's talk about some more in-depth news here, and that's what we really want to do to give you a little more information on what's going on. First of all, we've got to talk about Clinton and Trump. They're poised for a must-see debate showdown tonight. With millions watching and the American presidency on the line, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are poised for a must-see showdown this evening, putting the Democrats' call for steady, experienced leadership against the Republicans' pugnacious promises to upend Washington. The 90-minute televised debate comes 6 weeks before Election Day, and with early voting already getting underway in some states, despite Clinton's advantages, including sophisticated get-out-the-vote operation and the favorable electoral map, the race is exceedingly close. For Clinton and Trump, the first of 3 debates is a crucial moment to boost their standing with voters who view both candidates negatively. Clinton struggles with questions about her trustworthiness, while Trump has yet to prove to some voters that he has the basic qualifications to serve as commander-in-chief. Well, national interest in the race has been intense, and the campaigns are expecting a record-breaking audience to watch Monday's or this evening's event at suburban New York's Hofstra University. Both candidates were continuing intensive debate prep nearly until airtime. So we'll see what happens. I can't hardly wait. I'm going to have to record it because I'm not going to watch it without my wife, and because she's just absolutely wants to see this whole thing too. Now, something that you need to know is the moderator, Lester Holt, is under scrutiny during the debate. Everyone's aware that the stakes for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump during the first presidential debate, but there's a third person in the equation who faces a different pressure. That's Lester Holt. The NBC News veteran is moderating his first general election debate, making him solely responsible for the questions asked each candidate and for steering the conversation. His performance will be closely watched, particularly in light of a dispute over the extent to which he should call politicians out for making untrue statements. Holt, 57 years old, has kept quiet about his preparations. The NBC Nightly News anchor took over his job last year after predecessor Brian Williams was found to have lied about his role in news stories. Well, you know what? Like the moderators for all 3 presidential debates this fall, it's Holt's first time in that role for a general election debate. He hosted a Democratic primary forum in January and has interviewed Clinton and Trump 3 times each during the campaign. In a reflection of the attention that will be paid to Holt, his voter registration became an issue last week. Lester is a Democrat, Trump said in a Fox News Channel interview. It's a phony system. They are all Democrats. Holt, however, is a registered Republican, according to New York State voting records. You know what? It just seems to me people are going to be making up their own facts during this thing. You have to watch it. You do not want to miss it, and that is for sure. No matter who you really want to see as president, and maybe not even either one of them, you got to watch this to see how prepared they are and what kind of games they're going to play. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk about 6 shot and 3 others are hurt in the Houston neighborhood, and the gunman? Yeah, well, he's where he's supposed to be, dead. And I'll tell you all about this right after these brief messages. Do not go away. We'll be right back. We got a great show for you. You're not going to want to miss any part of it.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. You know what? 6 people were shot. 3 others are hurt in Houston neighborhood. And the gunman? Yeah, right where he should be. Dead. Here's the deal. A disgruntled lawyer who had numerous weapons randomly shot at drivers in a Houston neighborhood Monday morning, or I should say this morning, hitting 6 people, one critically, before he was shot and killed by police, authorities said. Another 3 people had injuries from glass or debris. Authorities first received a report of the shootings at about 6:30 a.m. Police Chief Martha Montalvo said at a news conference, and the man began firing at officers when they arrived. Montalvo did not identify the man. A bomb squad robot examined a Porsche that police said belonged to the gunman. Texas motor vehicle records in the commercially available database showed the car is licensed to Nathan Desai at an address in the condo complex. The property manager of the condo complex also confirmed that police were going through Desai's residence. Calls placed to phone numbers connected to Desai and his father were not immediately answered. I would think not, probably, if you think about it. It's kind of, it's just, would you return those calls? I just don't think so, right? I don't think so. Well, here's one for you. The FBI data shows an increase in murder and violent crime in 2015. And these are the data that was just actually reported. And it says that, actually it asks, are Americans safer? Well, it depends on where you live, actually. A report issued today by the FBI says the number of murders rose by more than 10% in 2015 from the previous year, while violent crime overall was up nearly 4%. Experts say the increase is driven by a spike in violent crime in at least several large cities, but they caution that the country is in the midst of such low crime rates that even the tiniest increase appears larger than it is. And it sounds like just an excuse to me. There are problems with the violence in certain American cities, and we need to work to address that. But there's no evidence of a national crime wave, said Lenny Mae, I guess it's Chetier, of the Brennan Center for Justice, a nonpartisan law and policy institute at New York University School of Law. The FBI reports based on information supplied by local law enforcement agencies through the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program, which compiles data on murders, aggravated assault, car thefts, and other crimes. The statistics show an estimated 15,696 murders and non-negligent manslaughters in the country in 2015, a 10.8% increase from the year before. Those totals do not include killings that agencies have deemed justifiable. Wow. Can you imagine? It's even sad that you could have killings deemed justifiable, but I do understand the concept. Police say that the mall shooting suspect confessed that he shot 5 in just 1 minute. The suspect, accused of killing 5 people at a Macy's department store, confessed to police, court documents said, but his motive remained a mystery today as a portrait emerged of him as a mentally troubled young man whose parents said they were trying to help him. Arkan Seton, 20 years old, appeared in court following his arrest over the weekend on 5 counts of first-degree premeditated murder for the shooting at the Cascade Mall in Burlington, north of Seattle. Seton appeared to express no emotion and said only "yes, Your Honor," when asked by a judge if he understood his rights. Bail was set at $2 million, and his lawyer said nothing about his client in court and did not speak with reporters. Wow. Can you imagine? The hearing followed a terrifying weekend that began Friday night with the police say Seton stormed into the mall and killed 5 people, leaving Burlington residents panicked for nearly 24 hours until authorities arrested him. Seton was described as socially awkward, and one of his neighbors said he unnerved her so much that she kept a stun gun near her front door. Wow. Can you imagine? I don't know what happened to the wonderful country I grew up in. It's certainly a more scary place and a more dangerous place than the one I grew up as a youth. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, Colombia to sign a historic peace deal on ending a long conflict. You know what? More than 220,000 deaths, 8 million homeless, and countless human rights violations. These are the tragic toll of South America's oldest armed conflict, which begins to wind down with the signing today of a historic agreement between Colombia's government and the country's largest rebel movement to end a half-century of hostilities. Underlying the significance of the deal, President Juan Miguel Santos and the top commander of the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, they call it FARC, a rebel fighter known by the alias Timochenko, were to sign the accord in the colonial city of Cartagena. 15 Latin American presidents, as well as UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, were on hand to witness the signing in a ceremony charged with symbolism befitting a historic moment that generations of Colombians thought they would never see. The more than 2,500 guests were asked to wear white as a sign of peace, and Santos was to sign the 297-page accord with a pen made from a recycled shell used in combat. Wow. Well, let's hope that this is not like the other peace accords we see. Let's hope that this one lasts. You know what? We've got a showdown in Congress. Looks like they're going to override an Obama veto on the 9/11 bill. Congress is poised to override President Barack Obama's veto of a bill that would allow families of September 11th victims to sue Saudi Arabia for the kingdom's alleged backing of the terrorists who carried out the attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. The showdown is scheduled for Wednesday. Proponents of the legislation say that they have enough votes for what would be a first during his nearly 2-year full terms in office. Obama has vetoed 9 bills. None has been overridden. While there is broad and bipartisan support for bucking the president, the bill's opponents also are pushing hard to keep the measure from being enacted. They're warning the United States will become vulnerable to retaliatory litigation in foreign courts that could put American troops in legal jeopardy. Wow. Well, that's it for now. Don't go away. When we come back from these brief messages, I'm going to talk to you about the IRS loses, something a whole lot more pleasant. First case up is, hey, it's too late to collect tax from a bankrupt. I'll tell you all about it right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh, yeah, here I am. I'm Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time, it's down finally to 100 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 104 on its way to 74 degrees. I hope that gets a little cooler. In any event, if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in New York City, well, I want you to know that it's 67 degrees and it's mostly cloudy. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 71 degrees and it's partly cloudy, and that's what's going on in a couple of our syndicated cities. But right now, let's make you smile. Let's talk about the IRS loses. This will just set the hair up on the back of your neck. And the first case is, it's too late to collect tax from a bankrupt. You know, Glenn Redkay declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and the court approved a reorganization plan under which he would sell investment assets to pay his debts. Now, before the sale, he actually died, and the assets were then sold, but the IRS asked the court to reopen the bankruptcy case, saying that the bankruptcy estate owed capital gains tax on that sale. Well, this is what the judge said. After a Chapter 11 reorganization plan is approved, the bankruptcy estate terminates and its assets vest back in the former debtor. Now here, that meant that they vested in Redkay's personal estate. So the IRS's bankruptcy claim is dismissed and it must collect capital gains tax owed, if any, after the loss offsets from the personal estate. Yeah. Well, give that some thought. How about this one? The IRS conceded this one, and you've heard me say many times they only concede a case when they're pretty sure they can't prevail in court. In this particular instance, the VA work therapy payments are going to be tax-free. The IRS says that it'll no longer tax payments made under the Department of Veterans Affairs, that's the VA, a compensated work therapy program, to participants in that program. The program provides paid work that also has therapeutic benefits to veterans. The IRS treated the payments as taxable wages under the tax court recently ruled them to be tax-free health benefit. The IRS now says that it's not going to appeal that tax court ruling, and that the program participants who paid tax on the payments that they received from it during the last 3 years are entitled to tax refunds if they file for them. And that's not just a refund. That's also, they get the interest on that. There's one more case for you. The IRS loses. Neglect is not excusable. The IRS was considering whether Timothy Severs was personally liable for $200,000 of employment taxes owed by a business when he declared bankruptcy. Now, via automated procedures that apply in all bankruptcy cases, the IRS checked Severs' tax debts. It found that they were minimal on his personal tax return, so it didn't file a claim on the bankruptcy case. Now, later, the IRS auditor held that Severs did owe the $200,000 of taxes, but did not tell the IRS's bankruptcy case division. The IRS finally made a late claim for them, arguing that it's excusable neglect and permitted it. And this is what the judge said. The IRS is a sophisticated creditor, and its neglect is not excusable. And the claim, you got it, it was dismissed. Now, you've heard me say many times you like to be a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS, very much like the Twilight Zone. Oh, yeah. Now, these are not tax court cases, but these are precedents and things that the IRS is doing and where they're going, that if you know about it, you can actually have an advantage here. So let's talk about this. What do you think small business owners are going to jail for these days? You ever think about that? Well, if you're in a small business, you ought to be thinking about it. You know what it is? Filing false payroll tax returns indicating smaller salaries. Now, restaurant owners in particular seem to be a good target for the IRS investigators. These businesses tend to have at least some employees who are on the books and a portion of their salaries with the balance of their compensation paid in cash. Now, here's a defense for you. There is not much of a defense that can be mounted if the IRS can actually put together 5 or 6 employees who will testify that they were paid in cash, even though the employees will admit that they did not report the cash on their own income tax returns. So your best bet here, clean up your act and do it now. The payroll taxes saved by paying employees with cash is just not worth the legal expenses and the potential time away from home in a federal prison. So just give that some thought. Well, how about this? What do you think happens if you're arrested by the IRS? Well, many times a grand jury will be presented with the aspects of a case as portrayed by the government attorney. Now, an indictment will be issued and an arrest warrant is going to be executed. And the IRS agents are going to show up at your home or place of business and inform you that you're under arrest. You'll then be handcuffed and transported to a federal district courthouse for processing, fingerprinting, a mugshot, and a bail hearing. The entire process takes about a day, and if you have no prior convictions, bail will be set and you'll probably be able to go home that night. In more complicated cases, though, you might have to stay overnight in jail until a bail package can be negotiated with the U.S. attorney assigned to your case. But you need to be really careful here, because during that ride to the courthouse, the special agents are going to encourage you to make incriminating statements. Just be polite and tell them that you don't want to talk to them until you've met with your attorney. And that should be something you decide all the time. Now, do not go away, because when we come back from this short break, we're going to be doing our simulcast with John Matthews and Joe Hakos. And you can bet we're going to be talking about the debate tonight. No question about it. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. John Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:33 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 100 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 104 degrees on its way to 74 degrees. And if you're listening to us in one of our syndicated cities, well, if you're in Paris, France, it's currently 55 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Rome, Italy, it's 63 degrees and it's also clear. But you know what? We're waiting for our own John Matthews and Joe Hakos to call in. We'll be doing our simulcast with them. We do that semi-weekly. We do it every Monday and every Friday at this time, and we talk about a variety of things. But usually it's current politics we talk about. And then later on in the show, you don't want to miss it, we'll be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. He's the biggest and best voice in America, reveals the startling heartbeats behind all the headlines. And today's story is going to be the Code of Love. You're not going to want to miss that. Not at all. You know what? And then after we talk to John and Joe for a while, we'll be talking to John Hansen, our little old wine drinker, and we'll probably be doing you a preview of the Las Vegas release of the Terra Roja and Meadowwood Vineyards celebration that's going on. We'll talk a little bit about that, and John's got a number of things that he wants to talk about. So right now we're just waiting for John and Joe to call in. They should be calling in any second now. This is it kind of depends on when their commercials end and when our commercials end, and that's kind of what happens around here. But they should be calling in just a moment, and then that way we can have a conversation. I know what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about the debate. God only knows what else, but we usually go off on a number of different tangents. But the debate's going to be what we're going to be talking about. And you know what? There's a lot hanging on the results of this debate, so you don't want to miss it. You want to be able to, if you can't watch the debate live tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time, then you know what? Record it and watch it at your leisure. This is going to be a historical debate. Now, here we are with John Matthews and Joe Hakos. Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing fantastic, fabulous, magnificent, unbelievably well.
Outstanding. Yeah, it seems like forever since we've talked.
You know what? It does seem that way. You know, John, the first thing I want to do is ask you how your lovely wife is doing.
I'm sorry?
I want to ask you how your lovely wife is doing.
Oh, she's doing much better. I mean, it's up and down. This diabetes and the kidney transplant and everything else, it's up and down. You know, she has good days and bad days, and fortunately, the good days are now outnumbering the bad days.
No, that's not unfortunate. The good days, that's fortunate that they're outnumbering the bad days, right?
Yeah. It's just when she has a bad day, it's a bad day. I mean, it's just the way it is. So, as of right now, just feisty as ever.
Maybe I should send you a sympathy card.
I'm sorry?
Maybe I should send you a sympathy card.
Yeah, you're coming in really low, Bob.
Well, let's try this. Is this a little bit better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. I'll say maybe I should send you a sympathy card.
I'm still missing you.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? Maybe it's just the word is getting you. Don't worry about it.
Well, you know, I think in terms of Bushisms, if you use words with more than 3 syllables, I get lost.
Well, I only know 2 or 3 that are more than 3 syllables.
That's why I tell people that's why I'm a conservative. I'm not smart enough to be sly.
Yeah. Well, no, you're a conservative because you're basically honest. That's why you're a conservative. You know, and I'll let you read into that anything you'd like.
Yeah. So, looking at the debate tonight, I just a couple of thoughts that I have, but I wanted to get your take. What do you see happening?
Oh, you know what? This is going to be a historical debate when you think about it. Hillary Clinton against Donald Trump, and it's going to be one of pre-planning, and they're going to be like 2 boxers in the ring. I think one is just they're going to kind of test each other at the beginning, and they're going to spar a little bit and see who's going to break the ice and take the big swing first. And when the first person that takes the big swing is going to be the loser, because that justifies the second person for swinging back.
Yeah, what I've been looking at, just really kind of watching how the media, because to me this particular election cycle is probably more about the media than any previous election cycle that we've been involved in that I can remember. I mean, the media has always played a hand in it, mm-hmm. But they are basically. The way I've been looking at this whole thing is that Hillary Clinton has basically been running a campaign by proxy.
Oh, yeah.
By that, she's really not in the limelight. She's not in the spotlight. Her poll numbers are always best when she's not talking. So the media is out there every day, you know, trying to punch out one narrative over another to see what will work that will stop this Trump phenomenon. Whether, you know, you can call Trump whatever you want, but it is a phenomenon that accomplished. And what I've seen here the last couple of weeks is the attempt to paint Donald Trump a liar at least equal to Hillary Clinton, if not greater.
Well, you know, I mean, I got to tell you what, if we don't have anything else, we legitimately have a real horse race going on right now. If you looked at the polls that were just out today, I mean, this is even Steven. When you're looking at 1 or 2 points separating people, that's an even race, because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of surprises, and I'd be surprised, very surprised, if Hillary Clinton is sleeping well at night.
Well, yeah, I like I said, I think she's running a campaign by proxy. She's got her campaign manager out there doing all of her TV interviews. She's got Barack Obama out there campaigning for her. She's got Bill Clinton out there campaigning for her. Tim Kaine has finally been allowed to go out by himself, and he's showing up at the talk show circuit. And so everybody's out there talking except Hillary.
Yeah.
And that tells me that they're worried about either her having some kind of episode, that exposes her health condition, or the fact that, when people like Hillary best when they don't have to listen to her.
Well, you know what I think is going to be, and you're absolutely right, but you know what I think is going to really happen? Donald Trump is going to be hoping and praying that Hillary brings up the fact that he spouts off facts before he actually finds out what's really factual and call him a liar, right? Because that opens the door for Donald Trump to just pounce on her.
Well, I was on a part of a panel last night out at High Plains Radio. It was 4 or 5 of us do talk radio. Mm-hmm. And I got asked to participate in this panel. One of the members on the panel was Josh Bernstein, and he has actually had contact with the Trump campaign. And he said the first thing Trump should do, the very first thing Trump should do, no matter what they ask him, is he should turn to Hillary Clinton and say, before I answer your question, I wanted to give Hillary Clinton the opportunity to apologize to all the Americans that she called deplorable.
You know what? He ought to do that.
And if he did that, it would be slam dunk. He would control the debate from that point on.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. So, Josh brought it up last night. He says, so if Donald Trump does that, you'll know he got it from me.
Well, you know what? I mean, that would be a smart thing to do, but I'll bet you he doesn't do it.
Well, if you remember right, that is what turned a lot of the crowd towards him when Ted Cruz tried to make the comment about New York values.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, it did. And you know what? And the truth is, it's just, I keep wanting to call Donald Trump Teflon Don, nothing seems to hit him and stick to him. And that gives him a tremendous advantage because people see him as vulnerable, just like we are, right? Everybody is vulnerable. They don't see the Clintons as being vulnerable. They see the Clintons as being above the law.
Well, as we were talking in this panel last night, one of the questions I was asked was, what was it about this election cycle that I see, stands out above everything else? And what I told him was, I said, this election cycle proved something, or it revealed, or it exposed, whichever term you want to use, mm-hmm. that there are no such things as Democrats and Republicans anymore.
Yeah.
What we have is we have nationalists and globalists. And Donald Trump exposed that. And that is what this election cycle is about. It is the globalists. When you've got a Republican leadership, people that just a few months ago were running for the office of president, now endorsing the opponent, it exposes something. It reveals something that is not about ideology. It's about self-preservation and personal gain. And that's what this election has exposed. The fact that Donald Trump is really part of that very same system. He is to some degree establishment, and he is to some degree a globalist. This guy has profited globally from things that he has done in terms of buying politicians. So one of the greatest things he said in the beginning of his campaign was, I pay a politician and they do what I want.
Exactly. And if you're a good businessman and you have the resources to do that, then you're a damn fool if you don't.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Donald Trump the problem is the very system that he is now bucking and has been a part of can't control him. Yeah. And that's the threat. And in doing so, that is what has been exposed. We no longer have a government that gives a horse's patoot as to what the people who have elected them want. And so that has been the great revelation. And that is something that the Trump phenomenon, the reason he's Teflon Don is because he exposed that. So the voters out there, when you think about it, I was just at a convention last week, and they were talking about the fact that Barack Obama won in 2012 by 5 million popular votes. But he really only won by a combination of 385,000 votes over 4 swing states that got the Electoral College votes. Those other votes were irrelevant because he already took those states.
Yeah.
368,000 votes put Barack Obama in the White House because that was spread out over 4 states that got him the electoral votes that he needed to win.
Well, look at what's happening to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton today when we have all these swing states coming up, and all of a sudden Hillary Clinton she was leading by 15 points in Colorado. Now it's even Steven. It's a horse race out there.
Well, I'm almost believing I'm actually suspecting that the media is trying to paint this as a horse race for the purpose, if Donald Trump falls on his face tonight in the debate and Hillary Clinton picks up any kind of gain, they're going to be able to go back to the narrative they've been trying to push, and that is it's all over. This is all Hillary's, and it's just a matter of waiting until November for the confirmation. I think this may be a strategy by the media to give the illusion that this race is close. But I happen to think that Donald Trump is way ahead, and it's just not being reported right, because there are a lot of things in these polls that tell me that they're not even asking the millions of new people that are coming into the electorate voting for the first time or voting for the first time in several elections. These people are not being polled.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think that what is really scaring the Clinton camp right now is the fact that there are a lot of people who have not been voting in prior elections, whether they could have or not, do plan on voting in this one because they dramatically want to see some change in Washington.
Yeah, well, I think what we're on the verge of seeing here is just like in 2012, everybody thought Mitt Romney was going to romp, and he ended up losing big. I think we're going to see it the other way. My gut check is telling me Trump is going to win this, and he's going to win it big. It's not going to be a close election, as everybody seems to think.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump is going to take New York. I think he's going to swing that state.
Oh, I do too.
And, so anyway, we got to go to a break on this side.
Okay, we'll be right back with John Matthews and Joe Hakos at the BB.
So this right here.
Now, the rest of you folks, don't go away. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:48 p.m. Pacific time. Still 100 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's down from 104 on its way to 74 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our syndicated global network and you're in London, England, it is 55 degrees and it is clear. And if you're in Vienna, Austria, it's still 55 degrees in clear. So how wonderful is that going to be? Well, we're waiting for our own John Matthews and Joe Hakos to give us a call back. And when they do, we're going to continue our simulcast with them. And it's just a wonderful thing that we do. It's hard sometimes to get the technology going, but here they are right now, John Matthews and Joe Hakos. Hey guys.
Yeah, well, we're back here. Joe's off today. Joe is at a debate watch party right now doing some field work for me. So
yeah. Okay. I can go with that.
Yeah, he may be calling in later on. He said he's going to take his equipment over there. Of course, the debate won't be coming on until about an hour after we get off the show. But he's going to see if he can hook up some interviews, because when he does this, he hangs out with the Republican operatives back there in Florida, so we get some good inside skinny sometimes on what's going down in terms of contests and stuff like that.
So will that be on your show tomorrow, or does he have to edit that over a couple of days?
Oh yeah, he'll be back on tomorrow. He's just today. We just call it field work. He's going to go out in the field and see if he can drum up some opinions and some analysis from some of the people. Like I said, he works real close with the Republican Party out there, so he knows people that know some of the things that are going on. So
that's fantastic. Yeah. But what I meant was he's going to interview them on his equipment. Is he actually going to be able to? Will you be able to play that on your show tomorrow?
Yeah, he'll just he just brought his Mac with him. He can hook up on Skype and just call in, and we'll be cool.
Oh, that sounds like exciting.
Yeah. We're trying to get a little bit more involved out there in terms of actually contacting the public and stuff like that. One of the things we've been working on, we don't take calls on this show just because of the fact that, well, we're a small operation. I don't have anybody to screen them. Mm-hmm. I used to just open the line and let anybody call in, but you get a few obscene phone calls and you say, wait, we gotta stop that,
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to control it. And the truth is, it's difficult when you have call-ins. You can't really control what's going on, and sometimes stuff slips through before you've had a chance to edit it.
Yeah, there's a way of doing it, but it's just not technologically feasible right now, given the fact that we're a small operation. We're we're basically a one-man show. I don't have somebody who can take the calls in, screen them, find out what they are, who they are, and then forward them to me through Skype, that kind of stuff. So we're working on it, but we're still not there yet. So, but anyway, getting back to the debate, I've been watching. There's a couple of things that I've been seeing out there. One, the press is trying to prepare us for the moderator to become more involved in the actual debate itself. That's been one of the things going on.
But that's a problem. Here's the problem there. And you and I have talked about this before. I don't want the press involved. I don't want the moderator to take that kind of a position. I'm actually a little bit in agreement of what Donald Trump had said, and that is you know what? There shouldn't be anybody else on the stage but him and Hillary, and they should just go at it.
I believe that there should be a moderator, but only for the purpose of procedure and time.
Yeah.
Somebody that, they're supposed to be using the rule of order, Robert's rule of order, right? You say, okay, you got this much time to respond to something, or to make sure that one doesn't, override the other, or to make sure everything remains, you don't want to have people cross-talking and stuff like that, that kind of stuff. But I'm a firm believer that I believe what should happen is every one of the questions should come from an audience. That they should have, you bring in people, Hillary, you can bring in, 15 Democrats, and Trump, you can bring in 15 Republicans, and we'll pick names out of a hat, and these people will get to ask questions or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just let the candidates deal with it, and let them, answering something about foreign policy in 60 seconds is not, to me, fair to anybody. I don't care who it is.
You can't really talk about foreign policy or even domestic policy in 60 seconds. There's just no way possible. And people keep making, just to make a point here, people keep berating Donald Trump because he will not give them the details of his plan for striking ISIS. Well, you know what? He would be an idiot to do that. Who on earth would ever say, this is what I'm going to do to you in 3 months? And tell them in advance. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard of.
Yeah, well, I kind of look at it a little bit different. I agree. That's certainly a valid position. My position is I'm not president yet. I haven't gotten a book on how really screwed up it is. So, it's like, this is what ideally, based on what I know, this is what I would think this would be a viable strategy. But I don't really know what I'm walking into. I mean, how many other Iran deals Barack Obama made with other countries that we don't know about yet?
Oh, yeah. You know what? The perfect thing is, you know what? I thought that there were certain things that I wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, I got these classified updates that they were telling me about. And there were things that I didn't know anything about. Now, I understand that the updates I got are not even current. They're not even really good. So until I become president, I'm not even going to really know what the problem is.
Yeah, I've always adhered to Dennis Miller's analogy. You get in the office and they let you pinch the nipple of the Roswell dummy, and then they give you the book on how really screwed up it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that point, you start making decisions about what it is you're going to do. Now, I understand that both of these guys are supposed to be getting some kind of intelligence briefings, but given this administration, just finding out the other day, there's this Iran deal that went down, the $400 million.
Yeah.
The Secretary of the Defense didn't even know about it. The Pentagon wasn't even notified about this stuff. This was all done between John Kerry and Barack Obama. The Defense Department didn't even know about it till after it was done.
You know what? What a way to. You wouldn't run a company that way. Why on earth would you run a country that way?
Yeah, and that $400 million in unmarked bills was the completion of a payment that included $1.3 billion that had already gone down the pipe.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I wanted to ask you, too, how much of, here's the deal. You had already mentioned it, and it's absolutely true that Hillary Clinton has not been making an awful lot of public appearances. Bill Clinton has been doing it for her, and Kane's been doing it for her, and Obama's been doing it for her, and Michelle has been doing it for her, but she hasn't been doing it for herself. And the truth is, it's because she's not articulate enough to make those points and to grab people, and so she's got people there, and Obama's doing it, and Michelle Obama's doing it for one reason and one reason only. If she doesn't win the presidency, his legacy's gone.
Oh, exactly, and he's already done that. He was speaking to the Black Caucus here a couple of weeks ago, and said that he would take it as a personal insult if black people did not vote for him.
Yeah.
It just came out and said that. If you want to protect my legacy, if my legacy means anything to you, get up and vote. I'll take it as a personal insult if the black community does not get up and vote for Hillary Clinton. And those are his words.
Oh, yeah. And the other part of that, John, do you remember when Donald Trump was being castigated for saying to the Black Caucus, what have you got to lose? And the Hillary camp just turned it all around and just castigated him for that. But it was the truth. Hey, look at what you got now. If you're not happy, you don't like the way things are going, you don't feel safe, what have you got to lose by voting for me?
Yeah, one of the stories that's out there right now, the one, like I said, they're going to try to paint Trump as a liar, equal to on par with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
He made a statement about 59% unemployment rate amongst black youths. And the source that he used to get that was not the standard source that everybody uses, which is Department of Labor statistics. So they're out there trying to say, well, he just made this number up. It's a falsehood. It's a lie. It wasn't. He just pulled it from a different organization. Yeah. But that is how the media twists things. And it's not really 59%. It's only 27%. Now, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, it's only 27%. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? At some point, who cares? Isn't it bad enough?
Yeah, well, it's like, what do you got to lose? Anyway, Hey, we're out of time on this side.
Us too. And listen, I'm looking forward to talking to you on Friday about what you think the results of the debate were, so save some time for that. And give a plug for your show here.
All right, my friend. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, you take care. The rest of you folks stick around, because when we come back, we're going to be with our old John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, and we're going to be talking about food and wine. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hansen.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:02 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 100 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, that's down from 104 degrees on its way to 63 degrees. Boy, that's hot enough. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, well, it's 55 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Vienna, Austria, it's still 55 degrees, but it's partly cloudy. But I'll tell you what, no clouds hanging over the head of our next person that's going to be on air with us. It's our own little old wine drinker, John Hansen. Hey, John, how's the weekend, buddy?
Oh, it was incredible. It was incredible. Hey, Bob, do you believe the Los Angeles Rams are in first place in the Western Division?
Yes, I do. I do believe it because I actually watched the game.
My gosh, after that first debacle on Monday night against the Niners, everybody wanted to sell their tickets, and now everybody's on the bandwagon again. My gosh. I mean, after 3 games, you would think they'd be in first place.
Well, my buddy John Hansen, he was going to stick with them win or lose.
Yeah, I bought in. I got season tickets, so I'm there every game. So, but, you know, it's funny. Tonight, of course, you know, Monday nights, I'm always hyped for Monday Night Football, but you know what? We're watching the debate, and then we'll go to the football game after the debate. I can't wait for this.
Oh yeah, this is a horse race you don't want to meet, man. You don't want to miss.
Oh man, you know, it's funny they have odds. Is Hillary going to pass out? Is Donald going to use the curse? There's all these bets going on. There's more gambling going on over the debate than Monday Night Football right now. This is
you know what? Yeah, I'll bet you they're taking odds in Vegas on it.
Oh, They are. It's crazy. You should see. It's a sheet with all these things. What's going to happen? And I'm going to send you something to do with the drinking contest.
Well, you know what? I'll bet you they're taking odds on who's going to take the first swing, and then that opens the door for the person who receives the first swing to start swinging back, right?
Oh yeah, but they have actually a drinking game that's out there, and they have like 7 situations where if Hillary says this, you have to drink, and if Trump says this, you have to drink, and if you pass out before Hillary does, you lose.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic debate. I got to wait for morning to get home, so I'll be recording it. But if she gets home in time, we'll be watching it live. But it's going to be This is going to be a historical event that I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Purple People Eater, whatever you are. This is one you don't want to miss.
Oh my God! This has to be the most televised debate ever.
Oh yeah! I believe that I heard they estimated that 80 million people were going to watch this debate.
Oh, I believe that, and it's funny because, I always mention what's going on in local restaurants and so forth. Mm-hmm. Most of the restaurants and bars, they're not just promoting Monday Night Football; they're also doing the debate. So half the televisions are going to be on debate, the other half is going to be on Monday Night Football. So the bars are going to be jam-packed just to watch the debate and the football game. So, it's going to be phenomenal. Hey, you know what? We started off talking about Vegas, and we ought to just go ahead and give our good friend Linda Neal a plug. She's going to be doing her Terra Roja release on Sunday, October the 16th, just a couple of weeks from now. And there's going to be a dinner at 6 p.m. If you really want that, you need to do an advance reservation for it. It's $75 a head if you want to do it. It's a phenomenal menu. Do you have that menu in front of you, John? I don't, Bob.
Well, I do.
Excellent.
So, she's got a guest chef. She has one every one of her releases. And this is Sean Rowe, the culinary director of Emerald Lagasse in Las Vegas. And she's going to start off with a 2013 Terra Rojas release and then do a tasting of that. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon. And there's going to be, and then she's going to do that for trade only between 4:30 and 5 p.m. and then for all of her guests from 5 to 6 p.m., which means, John, you and I will be drinking that magnificent wine from 4:30 to God knows when.
Yeah, but Bob, you also got to realize that you figure a bottle of Terra Roja is $150.
Yeah.
You're drinking Terra Roja for an hour for $75 plus an elaborate, 5-course dinner?
Oh yeah, they're going to have it's a obsession wine dinner menu and pairings, and they're going to feature Terra Roja and Mellowwood wines, and it's going to be phenomenal. They've got something for everybody on this menu. This is a menu that you'd probably pay $175, $150 a head just for the dinner.
Well, just you and I alone would drink a couple of bottles of Terra Roja.
Oh yeah,
$300, and we're only paying $75. That's the deal of the century.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever passes up this deal, my gosh, this is incredible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then and it's just a fun evening too. And space is limited, so if you're interested in doing that, get in there right now. Matter of fact, let me get that paper back out here. If you're interested in doing that, contact Linda at TerraRoja.com. That's Linda at TIERRAROJA.com. And if you're interested in doing it, boy, I'll tell you, it's one you don't want to miss. I mean, how bad could that be? Las Vegas Country Club in Las Vegas, Nevada. My goodness. Speaking of which, by the way, I had dinner at a place on Saturday night with Marlene. We went back to Spoggy's. God, I had the most magnificent dinner there, John. I had this. We started off, and I don't even know what they call it. It was like a pasta thing, and it's got to be the cheapest appetizer I ever saw. It was, it had to be, I'm going to guess, 2.5 inches thick and a good 3 inches round, right? And it was stuffed with meats and seafoods and all kinds of stuff in there. There was 2 of them for $7, and you couldn't even eat. I mean, I ate one, she ate one. And then I had the risotto frutta mare, And boy, I want to tell you, it was just to die for. Unbelievable. And then Marlene had the swai, and it was served over 3 lobster raviolis, and there was a nice cream sauce over the top of that. And holy good old God almighty, it was just phenomenal.
Now, is Henry the chef still?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Henry and his wife own the place.
Oh, well, I tell you, and Henry, our days at Rosa's,
yeah,
Henry was magnificent there.
Yeah.
You know, and when he moved out to San Bernardino, a restaurant. Now he has his own place there. I can imagine how, I mean, he is just a spectacular chef. And I would go anywhere where Henry goes. I can tell you that much.
Well, someday you and Raina need to meet us over here at the house, and we'll go there for dinner. It's just absolutely magnificent.
We definitely will do that. Absolutely. Maybe, you know what, Bob? Maybe Monday night when we come home.
Yeah.
We should do the show at your house and then dinner over there. That'd be great.
That sounds like a deal. I'll make the reservation.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, so I'll make the reservation, and we'll make it the what do you think, a 6:00 reservation?
Well, yeah. I mean, whatever time well,
that gives us time to drive over here and drink a little bit to relax our bodies.
There we go.
So anyway, that was really terrific. So listen, tell me about your weekend. You went to the game. I'm sure you took your wife out for dinner.
Well, no, the game was away. It was in Tampa Bay, actually.
Oh,
and it was fun.
That's right. That's right.
They got delayed by lightning, and it was the Rams had a 5-point lead. It was a 2-minute warning, and it got delayed. And it was pins and needles. They made you wait until the final outcome because, you know, being a Ram fan for so many years, you know, it's like they got it and then they just let it go at the end. But they held on. They won. It was great. But, we did go out to, you know, as I say, I like to mention, you know, our favorite restaurants. We had a great lunch at White House, which is always amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Always. But I tell you, I know Stomping Grounds. When we used to go out to see you, we used to always go to Fleming's.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we used to, when Rand gets off of work, we used to go to Ruth Chris because my good friend Bill Yates, she was right down the road. We used to go to Ruth Chris because they have a nice little bar menu and a happy hour from 5 to 7. Well, now Fleming's is doing the same thing. They got a great little bar menu. They have this incredible baked brie that was outstanding. They have a Cajun barbecue shrimp on them. They have these ahi tuna tacos. They have a lobster lettuce wrap. They have a filet mignon flatbread. They have a prime rib dip. They have this shortbread empanadas, and then a prime burger that you can get at the bar there. And then, of course, they have all these drink specials. So, I mean, for people, like, especially in the LA area, people that are commuting, why sit in traffic? Go over to Fleming's. There's one right by the Staples Center there.
Yep.
And just, you know, sit down at the bar, have those bar specials. They're really good. I mean, like $6 and up. They start at $6. And they have drink specials like $5, $6, $7 for drink specials.
And let the traffic leave.
Let the traffic leave. What a great, that's what I would be doing if I was commuting.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because you'll be stuck in traffic for 2 hours, and if you sit there for an hour and a half, you can probably get home in a half an hour. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, that's true.
Yourself for an hour and a half to sit in traffic.
You know, when I was with the Revlon Corporation, I had an office in Manhattan and I had an office in Los Angeles. And when I had to go to the office in Los Angeles, I'd leave at some ungodly hour of the morning because I didn't want to be in traffic, right? And so I'd stop and I'd have breakfast out in L.A., a lot of times at the pantry. You're familiar? You remember the pantry, right?
We used to have breakfast at the pantry all the time. It was like a ritual for us.
Oh yeah, we go out. I'd go to the pantry and have steak and eggs over there, and then I'd go into the office, right? And then at night, instead of hitting all that traffic coming back, I'd just stop someplace and have dinner or cocktails and hors d'oeuvres or take advantage of a happy hour. By the time I got all done, the traffic was gone, and I got home in about 40 minutes.
I mean, a lot of people do that now, and which is great because The traffic is lighting up during the crunch time for the rush hour, because some people go work out at a gym for a couple hours or an hour and a half or so, and then drive home. Some people go to these, and a lot of these restaurants caught on to it, like Fleming's, Ruth Chris. A lot of these places, they do a 5 to 7 happy hour where they have special, nice little light items to eat and specialty drinks. We can sit there and watch TV, watch the news or a sporting event, and just relax. Maybe catch up on your work while you watch this and have a drink and something like to eat. And then, depart home, where instead of driving for 2 hours, it only takes you 45 minutes or half an hour or so. That's what I'd be doing every day.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. First of all, I think it's healthier. It's better than being all frustrated on the freeway. And it's probably safer instead of, the drivers, for those of you that don't live in California, I want to tell you the drivers in Los Angeles on the freeways, they come from a different mold. You just want to be careful and get the heck out of the way.
Yeah, I think you're being polite there, Bob.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to. Absolutely. You know what? We don't have road rage in California. You do something stupid as a driver in California, the first thing you're going to hear are gunshots.
Yeah. It's just too bad. But, great. Go out, relax, enjoy yourself, unwind, catch up on some work, and catch up on the news, the debates. Stop there, watch the debate tonight. Was it an hour debate? I think it is.
It's 90 minutes. It's an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Okay, great. If Hillary lasts that long.
Well, she might have to. I was thinking if she has to go, tinkle, we'll make it nice, right? But if she has to go tinkle, she may be there for a while. Donald Trump may be on stage all by himself.
Yeah, maybe. It always makes me wonder, why doesn't she travel in a limousine? It's always a van.
Yeah.
It's like a med-vac in the van there for her. I don't know.
You know what? It's really it's a good thought. That's true.
Honestly, why is she always in the van? Why isn't she in a limo? That is so strange. So, who knows?
Yeah, well, I was going to say something, but it was really distasteful, so I decided not to do it. I could get in trouble if I said what I was thinking.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do it. Never mind.
Okay. Tell me off the air.
Yeah. I'll text you with it.
But as I said, we got just a couple of minutes before we have to take a break.
Yeah.
So, we mentioned restaurants, of course, Ways and Means. Monday nights always at $9.99 lobster. That's the best deal in town. And they're also right now they're doing. They're one of the restaurants is promoting the debate Monday Night Football too with that lobster. So. If you want to go somewhere and have an incredible dish, they do have drink specials as well every night. Go down and do that because it's just amazing. But also a couple of wine deals.
Well, you know what? Before you do the wine deals, you ought to give a location for Ways and Means and the Anaheim Warehouse because you didn't actually. There's only one Ways and Means, and people don't know really where that's at. And the Anaheim Warehouse, I'm sure people realize it's in Anaheim, but the reason it's called Anaheim Warehouse is it's on Anaheim Boulevard. So.
Right. Ways and Means. Well, the Ways and Means used to be close to us. Used to be right off the Orange Circle. Now they're in Huntington Beach, by the ocean there. And I don't have all the info to call and so forth, but you can go online. They do have a great website, just Ways and Means, and they do have. Every day they have a special. They have everything up there on their website. The food's amazing. They're actually called an oyster house because they have this incredible selection of oysters, and they do have a special oyster night where you can get for like $2 in oysters. That's unheard of if you do like seafood especially, but they do have a full menu. We've had their steaks there. We've had everything there. And the food, especially for the price, is fantastic. Great service. The chef's one of the hardest working chefs I've ever seen. And I was trying to, when we had them on the air, we were saying, you can get people to do that. Our chef, we have what we call a forager who goes out and looks. The chef says, I want this. And they go out and look. They go to like the farmers markets and they look for these particular things and go, okay, chef Chef Sutton wants this. I'm going to grab this and bring it into him. You know, he goes up at 5:00 a.m., goes out to these farmers markets to pick his fresh produce and fish or whatever. You know, I said, you know, there's people that does that for you, where you can spend more time in a restaurant and oversee everything else. But I mean, this guy just, he's a workaholic. He's a great guy. He's from Buffalo, New York, too, so another New Yorker there. But one of the hardest working chefs, and he's very talented. And as I said,
yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, we got to take a short break. We'll be right back with John Hanson and a little wine drinker right after these brief messages. Do not go away. You don't want to miss what John and I are going to be talking about.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
we're off and running, and I'm Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:23 p.m. Pacific time. It's 101 degrees. It got a little hotter here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 104 degrees, though. On its way to 74 degrees, it says. If you're listening to us on our syndicated global network and you're in Madrid, Spain, well, it's 72 degrees and clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, it is 79 degrees and mostly cloudy. But I'll tell you, it's not raining anywhere here in Southern California. Not raining on the head of my good buddy John Hansen. Hey, John, you got the microphone, my friend.
Thanks, Bob. One of our, a lot of our more popular shows is about food and wine pairing. Mm-hmm. And a few shows back, one of our good friends, Eric Poulin, called in and said, hey, I'm doing salmon on the barbecue. I have a little mushrooms, asparagus, and Brussels sprouts. What wine should I pair with it? And what happens, people get kind of confused because it's like, well, do this with that, do that. And I said, listen, if you're do the Grunewald layer, and he goes, well, I'm smoking the salmon with the mushrooms, and I go Pinot Noir. And I got a great little email. It says, listen, you always say food, what wine would you pair for this? But then you say, well, if you do this with this, you would change the wine. So why don't you tell me, let's add a twist to this, why don't you give me a wine and tell me what food goes with that? So we're going to kind of switch around. Instead of giving a food and pairing a wine, we're going to give you a wine and tell you what goes good with the wine.
Oh, that sounds great.
Better understand it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, and hopefully this would be a little easier for the guests out there when they do, because a lot of people are throwing parties tonight for Monday Night Football and the debate. So if you are doing a little evening tonight where you're entertaining some guests, we're going to give you some wines, and I'm going to kind of tell you what pairs great with each wine. Okay, we'll get about 15 or 20 of these wines going, each varietal. We'll start off with Pinot Noir. Now, Pinot Noir goes great with earthy, just earth flavors. Mushrooms. Gosh, mushrooms and Pinot Noir is a maiden match in heaven. I mean, it's just incredible. Pinot doesn't really like high acid foods, but, I mean, sweet foods it goes okay with, but earth tones on food. It's great with Pinot Noir. With Chardonnay, you want fatty fish or fish in rich sauces, like a butter sauce and so forth, with shrimp and so forth. It really screams Chardonnay. And we talked about what happened with Chardonnays. They got really over-manipulated, where they do 100% non-lactic fermentation, heavy oak. There's some Chardonnays out there, they put in new oak for like 12 months and then put in another oak barrel just to double the oak on it. With these wines, you really can't pair any food with. You need acid with food. So you want a Chardonnay that has a little rounder mouthfeel, but you got to have acid with a Chardonnay. So get a Chardonnay. And that's why, Bob, you look at my cellar, I have nothing but French Chardonnay. I may have 1 or 2 bottles of California Chardonnay. But with fatty fish and, fish in rich sauces, Chardonnay is the wine you want to go with. Champagne, you can do a whole dinner with champagne. You start off with a white, a nice rosé goes great with a dinner and so forth. But also, champagne loves salty food. Caviar with champagne. What a classic combination.
Oh, yeah.
So that saltiness from the caviar. But, salty breadsticks at a bar with a glass of champagne. Incredible. The champagne goes so well with salty food. Cabernet, of course, juicy red meat, steaks, chops, lamb with herbs with Bordeaux. Great combination. But hey, don't forget chocolate. Chocolate was great with Cabernet too. But Cabernet with protein, like a nice steak with blue cheese shavings on it. You really can't do anything else but Cabernet. It really screams Cabernet. Sauvignon Blanc, that's another wine Marlene likes. That likes tart dressings, tangy foods like grapefruit and so forth. But also that classic pair, goat cheese with Sauvignon Blanc. What a great classic pair. And, just to touch on cheeses, if you have a cheese plate, certain, we can go through all the cheeses and pair different wines with it, but just a rule of thumb. And, I always have my little rules of thumb there. Hard cheeses go better with red wine. Soft cheeses go better with white wine. There's exception, like blue cheese goes great with Cabernet, if you will, or ports and so forth. So there's always exception rule, but just a rule of thumb, if you're looking at it, you look at it, okay, whites with fish, reds with meat. Well, usually soft cheeses with whites, hard cheeses with red. okay? But there are exceptions to the rules. One of my favorite wines, of course, Bob, you know, dry rosés, right?
Yep.
They go great with like rich, cheesy dishes, but also tomato salads. Just little sliced tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes with a little buffalo tomatoes too, great. With a little mozzarella, fresh basil, great with rosés. I mean, just sit out by the pool, especially with this hot day today. Just sit out by the pool, have a nice little tomato salad, caprese salad with a little rosé. You'll be in heaven, I guarantee it. Pinot Gris, or Pinot Grigio, if you will, if you're in Italy, that really loves light, fresh dishes. And this is one thing you love. If you ever get stuck in pairing what's going to go with this wine, where is this food coming from? If you're from the Veneto, Italy, and that's where that dish is from, pick a wine from Veneto, Italy.
Yeah. 9
times out of 10, that wine is going to be spot on with that dish. It's amazing how the wines pair perfect with the cuisine from that area. And that's if you get totally locked up, say, I have no idea what to pair with this wine, go from a wine from that dish, from that region. You should be okay. A wine that's becoming very popular, Malbecs, from Mendoza and so forth, Argentine wines. They love sweet, spicy barbecue. Now, when I say spicy, I don't mean hot, okay? Because Malbecs tend to get a little up there in alcohol. And you want another rule of thumb, which I always said, if you have something spicy, you want to do a low alcohol wine because the alcohol intensifies the heat. And that's one thing you don't want to do. But Charbono, Bob Foley, his favorite wine on the barbecue, Charbono, Zinfandel, Syrah, great with spice food like cumin, harissa, and so forth. They do very well. Reina's favorite wine, Moscato d'Asti. Great for light fruit dessert. Sorbet with fresh fruit, Moscato. Moscato is about 6% alcohol. You have that effervescence. It's very cleansing to the palate. What a perfect way to top a perfect evening. A little sorbet with fresh fruit with a little Moscato d'Asti. Ah, my God, incredible pairing. Syrah, which we just talked about, it loves spicy dishes. And as I said, not hot, but spices like herbs, and as I said, cumin, harissa, and so forth, like that. Grüne Veltliner, which is the #1 varietal from Austria, okay, which is becoming very popular, and we've discussed this, the Central Coast. I love the Central Coast whites now because they're playing these eclectic varietals like Grüner Veltliner, Pinot Blancs, and gosh, what else? We found a varietal up there, and the names I can't remember. Just these eclectic varietals you never see from like Alsatian area or as I said, Grüner from Austria and so forth. And just bright acid, just great food wines. But I tell you, if you had an artichoke, what are you going to pair with it? Grüner Veltliner. It loves herbs, artichoke, asparagus. There's really only 2 wines you can pair with asparagus. There's by Sauvignon Blanc and Grüner Veltliner. You know, great vegetable, herbal wine, Grüner Veltliner. Zinfandels, they go great with pâtés too. You know, like a duck liver pâté, terrines, but also the barbecue. As I said, it loves the spicy food, the barbecue flavor. Zins are great on the barbecue as well. Rieslings, another one of my favorite wines, and it's funny because I totally changed Raina's world. She was drinking $5 Rieslings, and when she got to try some like the QBAs, and then when she got into the predicate wines from Germany, that get up to the $60, $70, $100 bottles, she was just blown away. I mean, German Rieslings are just amazing, especially when you get in the predicate level. But that loves sweet and spicy, and I mean spicy on the heat, because Rieslings, especially from Germany, only about, say, anywhere from 8 to 10% alcohol. So it's low on alcohol, and they're usually off dry. So that also helps the heat there. So if you're going to do a nice spicy dish, a German Riesling or a Gewürztraminer would be perfect. Gewürztraminer, not high in the acid area, but it is off dry and usually lower in alcohol. So depending on what your dish is, on the spicy side, 2 great wines are off dry Gewürztraminers and Rieslings would do very well there. But I hope that helped everybody out there. because that was one of the great little emails. He said, I'm a little confused. Why would you say Pinot that show and go to a white? What's going on? And as I said, I hope it helped where instead of just doing a food, what wine I would pair with it, we'll do a wine and we'll pair food with it.
You know, that would be a great cheat sheet to have all these wines listed on the left-hand column, and then the type of food that you would eat with it in the column next to it, because then a person could get a really great idea. You know, I bought a bottle of Conundrum for Marlene, the Chardonnay that she ate with this. She had swai, and the swai was baked, and it had a nice cream sauce over the top of it. And I already told you it was served over a couple of or three lobster raviolis, and that Conundrum Chardonnay went perfect with that thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, and Conundrum's a blend too. It's not just Chardonnay; it's a blend. So there's other going on there. So yeah, Conundrum's a great, perfect pairing wine. And as I said, anything changes. I mean, you can go so many different ways. You can contrast pair. You can pair with it. I mean, there's so many different wines you can go with so many different dishes. And don't ruin your whole dining experience trying to figure out what wine's going to go perfect with this. Hopefully these little things help. If it's spicy, you don't want a high alcohol wine. Usually, beef you go red, white you go fish. If it's high, as I said, if it's spicy, go low alcohol. These little tricks of the trade, and if you're totally mind boggled, I mean, wherever the dish is from Greece to a Greece wine.
Yeah,
I bet you it goes perfect. 9 times out of 10, that'll be a perfect wine with that dish.
The other thing too, when people are maybe they're fixing a dinner, at home or something like that, and they're not sure. Maybe they're having a dinner party and they're not sure what wines to get. If you're confused, if you don't have a friend like I do that is an expert at wine, don't be afraid to get on the internet and say, hey, what wine would you pair with this dish?
Exactly.
And it'll give you an idea.
Exactly. Well, Bob, we probably have just enough time to do a wine pick of the week, and I got a couple wines I want to talk about.
Okay.
At Wine Exchange.
I'm sorry. Wine Exchange?
Wine Exchange.
Wait, what happened to Costco?
That will come up later, Bob.
Oh, okay.
The Wine Exchange. And I don't know if you remember our good friend Chris Stills that came on. He's the rep for Oyster Bay.
Yes.
Did you go out and buy a bottle of Oyster Bay?
He did?
We're going to go to Costco and buy a bottle of Oyster Bay for $9 a bottle. Did you grab one?
Oh, you know what? They didn't have it. I went there to buy it, and they didn't have it. When I asked the wine guy that was there at Costco, he says, no, they were out of it, and they wouldn't be getting it back.
Okay. Well, anyway, when he was talking, the big thing when I was taking my advanced test and so forth, the big thing was New Zealand Pinots was supposed to be the next incredible Pinots, and they really never caught on. And they thought it was going to be from the Marlborough region. But when we were talking with Chris, he was mentioning that Central Otago has the best Pinots. But the thing is, one year it's the most incredible Pinot you ever had, and the next year it's just okay at that. And because the ups and downs of Central Otago, it's never going to be a great Pinot region. But on the banner years, it's going to be the best bottle of Pinot you ever had. So Wine Exchange has the Erewhon. That's EREWHON, Pinot Noir from Central Otago. It scored 92 points, and it's for $24.95. But this sounds delicious. The tasting notes was wild berries, Earl Grey tea. I love that tea nuance. It reminds me of Duzac Roussan and so forth. The incredible minerality in the wine, dry thyme, white pepper. This seems incredible. It seems like something from Burgundy for under $25 a bottle. I'm going out and get it. Okay, yeah. And they say it can last up to 2030 if you want to store it. So
really?
Caught that today. Next time I hit Wine Exchange, I'm definitely going to buy a bottle of that. Also, they have the Rockpile Petit Syrah. If you like Petit Syrah, Rockpile is one of the incredible Zins and Syrahs coming from here. The Rockpile Zin was number 6 a few years ago in the top 100. Rockpile is an AVA, small AVA, just north of Dry Creek Vineyards up there in Sonoma by Dry Creek Valley. This scored 90 points, and it regularly sells for $45 a bottle. right now, Wine Exchange bought half the allocation and is blowing out for $14.98.
Holy cow!
$15 a bottle. You got 90-point Petite Syrah. And Rockmell is one of those AVAs that are really coming up. Go out and get a bottle. You can't. I mean, if you don't like it, hey, it's only $14.
Yeah.
Okay, now once again, this is a disclaimer. I do not work for Costco. My son does work for Costco, but I do not work for Costco. But a great winery, I won't say one of my favorite, one of the top wineries. I put in my top 50 wineries because there's so many wineries out there. But Coletto Cabernet, family-owned winery up there in Napa Valley, 2012 cab for $49. We sell on a list for $100 and some at Napa Rose. It's a great cab, 2012. What I've known from 2012 is you want to sit on it for a couple more years, but it's going to be a great vintage for under $50. High-end Cabernet. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Well, the only thing with Costco, Bob, one Costco will have it, and you go to another Costco, they don't have it. So you kind of have to search out the Costcos who has the Coletto. Yeah. But if you find one, pick up a bottle. I guarantee you enjoy it.
Yeah, and that seems to be the way of Costco. They don't put all the wines in all the stores.
No, it's strange. It all goes where, I mean, they put certain wines in certain stores, and it's funny because if you find a wine you like, you got to go 3 or 4 Costcos to get the allocation that they have. You know? So.
All right, my friend. Hey, listen, what are we going to talk about next Monday?
I have no idea, my friend.
Okay, so that's a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, you have a wonderful evening. Give your lovely wife a hug and a kiss from me, and we'll talk to you, probably before Monday.
And you do the same for me.
All right, buddy. You take care. The rest of you folks, stick around, because when we come back, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Do not go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:43 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 101 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 104 on its way to 73 degrees. So it's not going to get really cool, that's for sure. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Lisbon, Portugal listening to the show, well, it's 66 degrees and it is clear. And if you're in Hong Kong, it is 73 degrees and it's clear. But right now, it's time for us to do our Harvard Business Tip of the Day. And the management tip today is help your team through times of crisis. You know, national tragedies, mass shootings, hurricanes, suicide bombers, you know, it affects us all. A leader sets the emotional tone and the example that both in good times and, perhaps more important, in bad. As a manager, how do you help people deal with their feelings during times of crisis? Well, you know what? Don't repress your emotions. Research shows that doing so is not good for you physically or mentally. And while we may want to leave feelings of sadness, pain, confusion, and anger at the office door, we simply can't. It's okay to talk about feelings at work, especially in tough times. And you know what? Create psychological safety. Ask people how they're doing and what they think about what happened. Encourage them to talk about what's on their minds. And then finally, resolve to do good. Horrific acts can undermine our sense of good. Use an event as a springboard for your team to do something positive in your organization or your community. That's the way you get these things done. You have to face tragedy head on. Well, you know what? It's time for us to give you the secret daily teaching for your life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You decide if you're going to be happy or sad, a success or a failure, rich or poor. You decide how your day's going to go. When you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you say, wow, I'm going to have a great, productive, profitable day today, and I'm going to make everybody around me happy. You make those decisions. No one else does. So the teaching for today is the most important thing for you to know is that it is impossible to feel bad and at the same time be having good thoughts. That would defy the law because your thoughts cause your feelings. If you're feeling bad, it is because you are thinking thoughts that are making you feel bad. So you know what? Change them. Don't do it. Don't allow it. You control how you feel. Well, you know what today is. Sure you do. Everybody does. Today is Monday. It's September the 26th, and it is somebody's birthday. So we've got some terrific birthdays today, so we might as well just get right to them and get them cooking. This first one, you know, you're going to probably laugh a little bit about, but it's actually true. It's a fellow that was born in 1774 and passed away in 1845. A nurseryman who introduced apple trees to large parts of Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois. Happy birthday, Johnny Appleseed. Yeah, you thought it was just a story, huh? Well, here's another guy, born in 1888, died in 1965, was a poet, playwright, and literary critic. He received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948. Happy birthday, T.S. Eliot. And then finally, born in 1981, has won more Grand Slam titles than any other active female player and has won more career prize money than any other female athlete in history. Happy birthday, Serena Williams. Yeah, isn't that something? Well, let's talk about what happened today in history. And I can tell you that on September the 26th, 1580, Sir Francis Drake finishes his circumnavigation of the Earth. That means a trip around the world. And in 1960, in Chicago, the first televised debate takes place between presidential candidates Richard M. Nixon and John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Of course, tonight, the historical debate is going to be between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then finally, in 1960, Fidel Castro announces Cuba's support for the USSR. That figures, right? Yeah. Now, for our quote for today, comes from Oscar Levant. And Oscar says, happiness isn't something you experience. It's something you remember. Now, that is profound. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's time for us to do our interesting but useless facts. We've got a number of them here, so we might as well get right to them. First one is, most insects used in a film, 22 million bees in the film The Swarm. Yeah. Well, did you know that 4 is the only number that has the same amount of letters as its actual value? Yeah. Go figure. And then the first product Motorola started to develop was a record player for automobiles. At that time, the most known player on the market was the Victrola. So they called themselves Motorola. Now you know where that name came from. How about this? Did you know that 6% of men propose over the telephone? That's a mistake, guys, if you're thinking about it. Try this. The soundtrack to Oklahoma was the first album to sell 1 million copies, and it did so on August the 18th, 1958. Yeah. From Rodgers and Hammerstein. And did you know that Canada actually comes from the word Canada, a Huron and Iroquois word for village? And Canada is a big village. Yes, it is. Well, let's see. How about, did you know that diamonds can be shattered with a hammer? Don't do it, folks. Big mistake. Big mistake. And then let me leave you with this. Bubble wrap was accidentally invented by Alfred Fielding and Mark Chavans. Yeah, that's the fact. Well, don't go away, because we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be doing our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. The story today, you don't want to miss it, is the Code of Love. Yeah, and I'll tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza, and it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. He's the biggest and best voice in America, and he reveals the startling heartbeats behind the headlines. Paul Harvey, one of America's favorite radio and TV commentators, is heard over 775 ABC radio stations and over 400 foreign stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in over 300 newspapers. Recipient of numerous awards and honors, including 9 honorary degrees, and he's on the Gallup's poll list of America's most admired men. If you missed hearing Paul Harvey, you missed out on a great, great orator. You know what? Paul's story today is the Code of Love. Well, liberation? The word alone carries with it a parenthetical exclamation point these days. Its true definition is innocuous enough, even cheerful. But since the war-torn 60s spilled over into the corruption-torn 70s, few words have been capable of inspiring such a wide range of emotion. Liberation. In itself, a war cry. Why? Perhaps when you hear what I'm about to say, your perspective will readjust. How long have women's rights been an issue? A century? Maybe. But women's lib and the overkill that we sometimes associate with it are recent phenomena. Originally, the very valid objective was equal pay for equal work. Fine. Then some were concerned about the survival of one's identity. So far, so good. But then, as it's so frequently in the case with an applause-thirsty cause, came the man-haters and the bra-burners, the little girls in Little League and all the rest. Now, some are saying that they've gone too far, but wait till you hear how far they've gone. I'm about to tell you the Code of Love. The code was drafted by a group of women in May of 74. Married women, mind you, all in the vanguard of the lib movement. Their goal was to create for themselves and for you a new set of ethics, the guidelines for liberated conduct in modern times. In the process, they examined archaic standards and wound up with what amounts to a redefining of love itself. In case it escaped your attention, this is the Code of Love. If you're at all sensitive or idealistic or perhaps quite romantically inclined, listen anyway. Love cannot extend itself into marriage. This is because lovers must grant everything to one another mutually and gratuitously without being constrained by any motive of necessity. Husband and wife, on the other hand, are bound by duty to deny each other nothing. Considering that no one should be deprived of love, being married must not prevent one from seeking it elsewhere. The only requirements of extramarital lovers are that they are honest, that they are truly exciting, and that they achieved adulthood. An insatiable appetite for one partner for the other is considered to be ideal. No device is too extreme if it keeps the passion alive. Maintaining a secret affair may be favorable, not so much for the sake of decency as for the sake of excitement. Whoever cannot keep a secret cannot love. Guarded jealousy may also be useful, and though we are not specifically recommending or even condoning the employment of force, a resisting lover is always more desirable. No one can be ultimately involved with two lovers at the same time. But just as nothing restricts one man from an affair with two women, nothing prevents one woman from an affair with two men. Love itself is always in a state of flux, either increasing or diminishing. After it begins to diminish, it dies rapidly. At that time, new love is an inadequate excuse to quit the old. What one loses in sleep over love, one makes up in what one does not eat. But persons who are either too wealthy or too happy in their own lives tend to lose the need of love. It should also serve as a warning that those who are prone to love are equally prone to fear. Now, I'm going to stop here. What I've done is to paraphrase a rather lengthy 31-point treaty, and it's in concluding remarks. The collaborating women claim that polls were taken as advice for their new code. They don't say whose. Dr. Donald Jackson, founder and director of the Middle Research Institute in Palo Alto, has his own ideas about the code of love. He concedes that the women who formulated it were intellectually and artistically superior to their husbands, and that they probably resented the inferior, non-productive position into which they had been forced by a male-dominated society. Excessive leisure, says Dr. Jackson, doubtless afforded them the time to retaliate in this manner. Now, in fairness to all American women, let me say that the Code of Love was written in Europe, and this panel of activists had never heard of women's lib. Actually, they were a court of women led by the Countess of Champagne. Their document is dated May the 3rd, A.D. 1174. And now you know the rest of the story. Now, don't forget, tune in tomorrow when we give you the story for tomorrow. And tomorrow's story is going to be the upper hand. In the meantime, tell everybody about our show here on the RLC network. And don't forget, Sean LaFay will be here tomorrow. We'll be talking about healthcare, and we'll be talking about the human machine. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.